One of the common complaints that I get from franchisees is, why is my unit managers quitting? And the reason this is such a common question is because it is a critical issue in the franchise world. The unit manager is the most important position in the franchise business. And if there's no stability in that position, if the managers are coming and going, then there is no stability in the results of the business. And so that is why when a manager leaves is such a crucial and critical issue for franchisees, and why they complain every time that happens. And the reality is that it's happening way too often. So in this podcast, I'm going to share a few reasons why your unit managers are quitting and what you can do about it so that maybe you can minimize that exits from your leaders. So let's first of all start with the reason number one of why unit managers leave, and that is burnout and lack of support to overcome that burnout. Unit managers work a lot of hours. A lot of the times they're required to work 50 hours minimum. So imagine that. That is 6 days a week times 8 hours. That's 48 plus 2. Then that would be 50. So not only would they be required to work 6 days a week plus 2 hours and 8 hours a day, or work 5 days, 10-hour days. That's a lot of work. And that can lead to burnout, especially if those work hours are hard. And they're hard for many reasons. And so consider that the first reason why your managers quit is because they are burnt out and they don't feel that they're getting the support from you to be able to overcome and get refreshed from that burnout. And so, of course, my suggestion is pay attention. See how many hours your managers are work. Do you really need to require them to work 50 hours? Especially if they're producing the results because they have a great trained team. And so that would be the first thing that I would suggest that you do. And second is, if you see that your managers are burnt out and they are at the edge of, wanting to quit, or even before that, ideally, give them the ability to have days off where they can recuperate and come back refreshed into your business. Now, the second reason why the managers leave or quit the job is because they're not really leaving the job, but they're leaving the manager or the direct supervisor, or if you're the franchisee that oversees them, then that would be you. And what that means is that these leaders are not the type of leaders that they're looking for motivation and inspiration. They may not feel supported or cared for. If you are having the issue of unit managers quitting, you might want to really look at who are their direct supervisors, and are those men and women inspiring and motivating and supporting of these unit managers. Really, the unit manager position, like I said, is the most important position in your organization. They're the ones that are going to determine the profitability of your business. They are the ones that are in your unit day in and day out taking care of your business. Therefore, it is important that they have great leaders that motivate them and care about them and that provide them with the support that they need to be successful. So that would be the second reason why unit managers leave. And the recommendation is take a look at who those leaders are and how they can be better for those unit managers. Now, the third reason why unit managers quit is because they want growth, especially the good ones, the ones that you want to stay. A lot of the times they leave because they want to continue to grow. If they're stuck in that unit manager position for 2-3 years, eventually they're going to get bored, tired, and they're going to want to leave for greener pastures where they may be able to have a career path and growth, right? So those good unit managers, they want to be able to increase their pay, their title, and their prestige. And if you don't have the ability to offer that, that will be challenging for you to be able to retain those men and women. And this is one of the benefits that multi-unit franchisees have over single unit franchisees or small organizations of 2 or 3 units. If you are a multi-unit franchisee that has a growing enterprise, then the people that are in leadership positions as assistant managers and managers will have the opportunity to grow within your organization, and therefore you are more likely to retain those great leaders. If you are a small organization and you are unable to offer that career path, that growth, then you're going to have to compensate with other things to motivate them to stay. But just know that the really good managers are not going to stay there long because they want to continue to grow. So that's something for you to consider. Now, the fourth reason why unit managers quit is because they feel that they're not getting the training and coaching and development that they want and deserve to be able to thrive in their position. You need to be able to train and coach them, not only for them to be capable at at the job that they do, but that they feel confident and satisfied with the results that they're achieving. If you have a manager that is not performing well and you know it and they know it, trust me, they are not happy. Everybody wants to be a winner. And if they're not, it's because they feel, or they may feel, that they do not have the knowledge on how to improve things. So are you providing the training, the coaching, the development that these men and women need to not only be capable, but confident at running and leading their unit? And if the way that you would know that is if they are succeeding. And if they're not succeeding, then there's something is missing, and is more than likely that training and coaching of things that they don't know. So you might have promoted them into the position. You may have great aspirations and hopes for them, but if they don't have the tools to be able to meet those expectations, you're going to be frustrated and they're going to be frustrated, and then they're going to quit. Now, the fifth reason why unit managers quit is because they feel that they're not getting the recognition that they deserve for the work that they're doing. Even if they are doing great results, if you do not have a way to recognize the men and women that are doing great jobs, these unit managers that have implemented the knowledge that you provided to them and they are thriving in the job, and you're not actually going out of your way to recognize them, then that's a problem. Now, there might be also other managers that, because they don't have an inspiring leader and they might not have a career path, so they're not motivated, or maybe they don't have the training, but they're there. They're sticking to it. They're trying and working the hours and working hard and doing all the work. You might not recognize them for the results because there's opportunities, but recognize them for the fact that they're still trying, right? And so if they're still there and you can see that there is effort behind that, recognize them for that, and then find out where the issue is and give them the support that they need to overcome that, so that now you have a reason to recognize them for good results, not just for the effort. And that's going to be something important, right? Because if they don't have the tools to be able to do it, and if they're still working hard at it, that is really special. And so being recognized for that is going to be important. But better yet, give them the tools that they need so that they can be successful and you can recognize them for the positive results. So those are the 5 reasons why unit managers quit. Number 1, because of burnout and lack of support from their leaders. Number 2, they do not leave the job, they're leaving their boss. Number 3, they might want to have a career path and growth, and they don't see a path for it in your organization. Number 4, they are not receiving the development, the training, the coaching to be able to excel at their position. And number 5, they do not receive the recognition that they want and deserve for the results or the effort that they are putting in the job. So I hope that this gives you some thought on, if you're having an issue with your managers quitting, is there something that you as a leader, direct supervisor, franchisee can do to turn that around? It is possible. Now, it could be that some of the reasons why your unit managers are leaving are outside of these 5 reasons. The best way for you to find out is to ask them. Ask the ones that have left why they left, and then ask the ones that are still staying with you, what are the type of things that you could do, that you could change, that you could improve so that they will want to stay with you for a long time. That would be the best source of information, your own people. Now, let me tell you a little bit about me. I used to be a unit manager many, many years ago, like 3 decades ago, okay? And I left my position as a unit manager, clearly. And I would tell you that I did not leave because I was burnt out. I was a unit manager for a year and a half before I left. And I really left because I was bored. I have achieved everything that I wanted to achieve. I was in the top 2 units in the region. And I know that because the other top manager and I were competing all the time. And I will tell you that that friendly competition between him and I was probably one of the reasons why I even stayed a year and a half. And that made it a little bit of fun, something between us. But I really wasn't challenged anymore. And I really wanted to grow. So here it is, the growth, right? And while where I was a big organization, the next position that was going to be, the one that I would aspire for will be the district manager position. And in that case, my district manager wasn't going anywhere. And he had been there for a while and I didn't see him going anywhere. I even asked him if he was thinking about moving on and he wasn't moving on anywhere. And I realized that either I made a move or I was going to be stuck as a manager, and that was not acceptable for me. And so that's another reason why I left my position as a unit manager and looked for other positions. Now, as far as the training and development, I have to say that the company that I was with did a great job at training me and developing me. My district manager did a great job, again, at training and developing me. He was fantastic in that area, which is another reason why I stayed with him, because he did give me that type of support. forward. And that was very important. As a matter of fact, my most favorite bosses were those that trained, developed, and gave me the tools to be better. So here to go. I was one of those striving leaders that I wanted to be better. And my favorite bosses actually gave that to me. And probably the reason why I stayed with them several years before I made a move. And so this is one of the things that it was my decision. Of course, I also felt appreciated by my boss when I was a unit manager. And one of the things that will make me feel appreciated by him was that every time he went on vacation, he left me in charge of the district. So that it is true that it was great for him, but it told me how much he trusted me. He was recognizing my commitment, my abilities, my skills, and the other managers respected me for that. And so that respect, that trust was a way for him to show how much he appreciated me. And I really appreciated him for that because it also helped me prepare for the next level, which was a district manager position. And so that's my story, why I stayed longer as a unit manager and eventually why I did leave. Unit managers are not going to be in their position forever. But as their leader, as a direct supervisor or franchisee, it's your job to find out what do you need to do, who you need to be, what do you need to provide to them so that they stay with you just a little longer. Because the longer the tenure of these unit managers, the better your unit will perform. Okay? So with that being said, if you are looking for a way to give these unit managers the knowledge, the tools, and the resources so that they can thrive, so that they can feel how much you care, so that you are investing in them and having them feel recognized and appreciated by doing that, investing on them and the future and preparing them for that career path, I would like to invite you to explore our unit management certification program at the American Franchise Academy. It's a program designed to give these men and women, the unit managers, everything that they need as far as knowledge and tools so that they can thrive in their unit and prepare them for the next level. All you need to do is go to our website at AmericanFranchiseAcademy.com or go to AFAmanage.com and you will be able to learn more about our program and register to the next information session. We have one every quarter before the next cohort rolls out. And then that way you will be able to see if this is something that will be a great tool, a great benefit, and a great resource for you to recognize your people, prepare them to be great at their job, and be ready for the next position. So with that, thank you for being with me in this podcast. If you like what you hear, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.